white hat's bigger than your white hat.
Hi guys, and welcome back. It's your girl, Yemi.com. If you can't tell by my little intro piece that I just did, and the fact that I am wearing a trench coat and have juggled down some wine, I am talking about the iconic show today, one of Shonda's greatest achievements and shining crowns in her, shining jewels in her crown. Much like an infinity gauntlet, she is Thanos and will snap us all out of existence if she feels like it. Scandal. Scandal, if you guys don't know, is a show that I really connected with. It is a show about a fixer of the Capitol Hill, Olivia Pope. She is a strong woman who don't need no man.
What? What do you want?
Sit down.
No.
Sit down, Olivia.
I am busy. I have a job. I have people who count on me. I don't have time to come running down to the White House at your beck and call like you're the only one who's important. Sitting down is not happening. So what do you want?
You.
Goodbye, Mr. President.
She was. There's some qualms that I have with the writing that proceeded on in later seasons of her character, but initially she's a strong woman who don't need no man to solve her problems. She doesn't even need a man to solve other people's problems, okay? She was the fixer of Capitol Hill. She had an entire team. They were gladiators, okay? Gladiators in suits. Now, I'm making this video because one of the things that is common in most of Shonda's works, I say most because we've all seen Bridgerton or my Bridgerton video. If you haven't, it's up there somewhere, hopefully, if I can figure out how to do that thing. Shonda's works are quotable. They are built to be quoted, whether it be Grey's Anatomy.
Really? Really? You think that we need to just get off our asses? We should do you that solid because the loss of our colleague and friend is all about your needs, your schedule. You think that we should be sensitive to that? How about you take a minute to think about the person, the talent, the life that we lost? How about you think before you start complaining that Derek Shepard's death has been inconvenient for you?
Or How to Get Away with Murder. There is no alternative to justice
in this case. And is that the America that this court really wants to live in? Where money is more important than humanity? Where criminality is confused with mental health? The Sixth Amendment was ratified in 1791. It's been 226 years since then. Let's finally guarantee its rights to all of our citizens.
Or any other show that she's created. In the plethora, the pantheon that is Shondaland, she is known for her quotable writing that speak to the hearts and minds of not only women, not only men, not only white people, not only people of color, but all of us. Speak to the hearts and the truths, but especially for Black women. Her quotes are legendary, especially in the show Scandal. Scandal has my favorite quotes, I would say, because it's just the most relatable and understandable. And I'm going to tell you some of my favorite quotes / speeches that have ever left the lips of Olivia Pope and her counterparts. But for that, I need my handy dandy notebook. Oh. Now, obviously, we have the original ones.
The gladiator in suits line, the my white hat is bigger than your white hat line, the are you a bitch baby line.
Those are some classics and some tried and true lines that have been on every Tumblr girl's post, but I have a couple other lines that are actually my favorite, my real favorite, and these are said by a variety of characters, like all the plethora of characters that have been on this show. And we will start with the first one. The first one is the pull the trigger line.
Sever the head of the snake. I am the snake. I am the problem. A bullet in my head is your only chance of freedom. Good. Now all you have to do is pull the trigger. Pull it.
She is essentially fighting with her father in a way that only a pope could, which is life or death. as her father is threatening the life of her close friend and pregnant friend, Quinn. She is threatening him and telling him to kill her because that is the only way he's going to make it out alive.
If you fold now, I can pretend this was nothing more than a senior moment.
I will kill her.
You think I'm bluffing? You think Quinn and I are BFFs forever? And I'll let that cloud my judgment, or that mini Quinn she's carrying is a little person I'm already in love with, so I just can't handle the idea of both of them dying. You think there's a soft, chewy center in here. You do think that. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why.
It's a very strong and empowering speech. I really love it. I will put as much of it as I can here. And I'll also put the episode number in the corner so you guys know where to go to find this speech. But here we go.
You gave me a dead mother, a life in boarding school. Then you told me everything I knew was a lie. You took away the only man I ever truly loved. You killed his son. You consistently erased my hopes, my dreams, my ambitions. You taught me the only constant worth holding on to is the Republic. You made me in your own image. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, poison though it may be. Remember that? I am just as you made me. That ray of light you think I am isn't a warm campfire, Dad. It's a blowtorch.
What really intrigued me about this line, about this kind of conversation that she has, is how broken down she is. Like how jaded she has become and exactly how she got there. And a lot of that is due in part to her father, and it's insane. Again, her utter, what really draws me to this speech is that her utter unfathomability of like not understanding how he could think that she is still soft and gushy when he has molded her into a warrior since birth. And in all the ways that she has talked about. It's truly amazing. Olivia and her father have one of the best dynamics on the show. I truly appreciate it. There are other conversations that they've had that are also on this list. But anything that comes out of her or Papa Pope's mouth is usually gold. So with that being said, we're going to go to our next one, which is Papa Pope, of course. Papa Pope has a lot of great lines. He is a force to be reckoned with. He brought a new life to the show, I really believe, with B613 and all this other nonsense that came in when he came in. But there is again, another conversation where Fitz thinks he kind of has this upper hand with this speech, talking about, oh, I banged your daughter, you know?
Your daughter. Every chance I get. The things I could tell you about the way she tastes.
All this other stuff to try and trigger Papa Pope to give up the goods of the information. And it doesn't work because he is the father of the most formidable woman in the world.
You're a funny, funny man.
I am.
Or should I say boy? You're a boy. You've been coddled and cared for, pampered and hugged. For you, it's always summertime and the living is easy. Daddy's rich and your mama's good looking. You're a grand. You got money in your blood. You are a boy.
So while Fitz is going on this tangent about like, oh, you should be upset because I banged your daughter. Like the basic boy he is. If you can't tell, I hate Fitz. Like, he's my least favorite character. Not my least favorite. I think there are a couple others. Mostly guys that Olivia has banged. I can't stand any of them. They just suck, okay? But Papa Pope puts him in his place.
My daughter went to boarding school with the children of kings. I made that happen. You cried yourself to sleep because Daddy hurt your feelings, because Papa banged his secretary, because it hurt to have so much money. You spoiled, entitled, ungrateful little brat. You have everything handed to you on a silver platter, and you squander it. You're given the world, and you can appreciate it because you haven't had to work for anything.
By telling him that you are a boy. And here is that clip, as much of it as I can.
So now you've decided that the one thing that you want is my daughter, my child, mine, what I made, what I created. You could talk about what a great lay she is to try to get a response from me all you want, but guess what? I am actually, quite literally, above your pay grade. She is always going to be the formidable Olivia Pope. Don't use the person that I made to make you into a man. You're a boy.
You don't know anything about me.
Sadly, boy, I know everything about you. You disappoint me as a suitor for my daughter's hand.
As much as I don't believe that parents are our owners and have dictation over what and who we should be with in life, I think that is so interesting that he's like, you are trying to use something that I made, that I built, and to make you feel like a man, and nothing you say will ever trigger me because I know that you are nothing without her and she is everything without you. And I really appreciate it. I again am on Papa Pope's side when I think that she should not be with Fitz. But you know, who's to say? He has way worse motives than I do, but we digress. And that's kind of why I really like that speech, because Fitz tries to upper hand him and Papa Pope just hits him with the "you're a boy" uppercut. Like, you are a sad little white boy. You cannot and will not take what I made and try and stand on it like a soapbox. So I like that. And we're gonna go to the next one. The next one is, spoiler alert, if you have not watched the series and think you are going to watch the series, Mama Pope is alive. There's in the first speech, she obviously says something about, you gave me a dead mother. Ha, spoiler alert, her mother's alive. And her mother has this beautiful speech that is borderline insane. She sounds insane when she's giving the speech, but she's so right. It's kind of like this broken mentality of the Black woman.
Damn shame. I tell you, being a Black woman, be strong, they say. Support your man. Raise a man. Think like a man. Well, damn, I gotta do all that. Who's out here working for me? Carrying my burden, building me up when I get down? Nobody.
That she really goes on this tangent about how, like, Black women are just disrespected by everyone. Those who feed them, those who give them the ground to walk on. It's just this, like, wretched, drawn, dragged speech that is just so, like, even though she's the villain, you can't help but to agree with her, especially if you're a Black woman.
Is that admirable or ridiculous? I don't know. I know me sitting here is ridiculous when I could be helping, but you don't want my help. You want to do it all by yourself. Mr. Big Strong Black Man. God forbid you let a sister like me help you out. No, you don't want that. Don't let me put you on my back when you fall. Wipe the crust out of your eyes. Put a pep back in your step, because when we do, you resent us for making you better.
And it's just like, she's like, you can't handle the truth. Like, kind of like that. And I love that. I love it. Mama Pope and Papa Pope, again, the whole Pope family, the Pope clan, if they could have not been as insane as they were and detrimental to each other as they were, I would have loved to see their own TV show about how Olivia grew up with Mama and Papa Pope. But I digress. I will try and put as much of the speech in here right now.
Smarter, stronger. Then drop us so you can be with someone basic. Someone without all that baggage you left us with. But we still try. That's why I'm here. Trying and saving and trying to save like we do. Here I am. Admirable or ridiculous? Baby, you tell me.
The power behind the speech, I really feel like, is the fact that she is in chains, essentially, and she's kind of like regaling this tale of how you think you built Olivia, I built you. Like, you know, kind of like you think that you are the winner, you are the smart one, you are the think of thieves. No, it is me. I let you stand on my back so you can feel like a man, and all this other stuff that she goes into. It's just the truth, and it's like, it's very it touches a deep part of you, especially as a black woman. Like, it touches a deep part of you. I'm not gonna lie, like, if you're like maybe white or mad, maybe you don't get the speech, but I felt it in my soul.
Black women out here trying to save everybody, and what do we get? Swagger jacked by white girls wearing cornrows and bamboo earrings. Ain't that a bitch?
Gutturally, and in that second, I was rooting for her, which you're not supposed to be, but I had to. The next speech, it's mostly just like this is much shorter than any of the other ones before this, is when Abby talks about how she would go over a cliff for Olivia. The pure devotion in this speech, I'm gonna play it right here.
Don't talk to me about tough calls and names on the door. That woman needs us. And I don't know what's going on with you or what's happened to you, but I know that you have your stuff that you don't talk about. I know that. But something's going on with you, and I'm sorry about that. I am. But that doesn't mean that you get to stop being Olivia Pope. When Charles fractured 3 of my ribs and broke my jaw and threw me out into the snow in my nightgown, Olivia Pope took a tire iron and broke his kneecap. And then Olivia got me the best divorce attorney in the state and got me out of that marriage. That's what Olivia does. That's who you are. You are the gladiator. I would gladly follow you over a cliff. But you gotta show up. You gotta be a warrior. You don't get to pick and choose when the real Olivia Pope walks through that door.
The devotion that she has to Olivia and the causes that they come against is just so imminent and shown, and just shows how not only like loyal she is, but how important and impactful Olivia is. And it speaks to the whole show as a glaring gaze, because no one would be in any of the situations that they're in if they did not trust Olivia wholeheartedly. So like, this really hones in on that, and I really appreciate that. I really vibe with it, and I really appreciate Abby's delivery on this speech. It made it really impactful and imparted a good message as well, to set the tone for, like, you know, everything. This speech is given by a random character whose name I cannot remember. I believe she was running for president, which is interesting. I'll probably bring this up at the end, but they're all Republicans in this show, so it's very interesting. But I'll bring that up at the end. But she is running for president, and she has this, like, president or vice president, I cannot remember for the life of me. Wow. She has this speech about how we should be our husband's keepers. It's interesting because I love, and this is one thing that Shonda does amazingly at. I also think that, like, Regina King, who just did One Night in Miami back a couple months ago, did it perfectly in that script as well. It's showing the opposite of a common argument. The common argument of, I'm not my husband's keeper. And I'm gonna play it right here.
One of those companies, Doyle Energy.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking now. Hearing my husband say that, it made my blood boil. Here he was, putting his life at risk so American businessmen could line their pockets. I wanted to say something, voice my rage, tell my husband to get the hell out of there, but I didn't. I bit my tongue because we are not our husband's keepers. 14 hours later, a Taliban sniper put a bullet through my husband's neck, severed his carotid artery, killed him almost instantly. I didn't blame the shooter. I didn't even blame the government or the energy companies. I blamed myself. I had an opinion, and I didn't voice it. I kept my mouth shut, and I swore that day that I would never again be silent. I became a United States Senator. I became the Vice President of the United States of America, and I plan to become the President of the United States, because no, we are not our husband's keepers, but maybe we should be America's.
The most powerful line of that is that I'm not my husband's keeper, but maybe I should have been. You know, maybe I should be, especially the feeling especially the feeling that comes through because her husband had passed away in war. So it's just kind of this strong momentum moment. While it's not my favorite and probably at the bottom tier of the list just because of the character and the rest of the things that go along with it, it hit me when it almost didn't make the list, but then it hit me when she hit that, but maybe we should be. It was really insightful. And coming off of that, we're gonna go to another presidential nominee, which is Lisa Kudrow's character. Lisa Kudrow, if you don't know, she's Phoebe from Friends, but she had this character who was running for president, and it was this dominating speech that she had. Basically, they had come to her house to film an interview, and she made this speech about making her a real life Cinderella story. I'm gonna put as much of it as I can here.
There's something my grandmother used to do whenever I'd start dating someone. I would tell her his name, and then she would say, "Oh, what part of town does he live in?" That was her way of asking if my boyfriend was white. Oh yeah, my grandmother was an out-and-out racist. So I know what prejudice looks like. It's not about experience, James. It's about gender. Reston's saying, I don't have the balls to be president, and he means that literally. It's offensive. It's offensive to me and to all the women whose votes he's asking for.
I'm sorry, are you saying that Governor Reston is sexist?
Yes, I am.
It's really empowering, especially how she's talking about how they tried to remind the audience with low-key clues that she is a woman.
The only reason we're doing this interview in my house is because you requested it. This was your idea, and yet here you are thanking me for inviting you into my lovely home. That's what you say to the neighbor lady who baked you chocolate chip cookies. This pitcher of iced tea isn't even mine. It's what your producers set here. Why? Same reason you called me a real-life Cinderella story. It reminds people that I'm a woman without using the word. For you, it's an angle. I get that. And I'm sure you think it's innocuous, but guess what? It's not.
Congresswoman Marcus.
Don't interrupt me when I'm speaking.
I have to stop this. Don't you dare.
You're promoting stereotypes, James. You're advancing this idea that women are weaker than men. You're playing right into the hands of Reston and into the hands of every other imbecile who thinks a woman isn't fit to be commander-in-chief. Yes, Governor, I'm talking about you.
7 years I served in the United States Army, which is 7 more years than Governor Reston ever served. A fact you conveniently omitted from my intro. How about soldier, lieutenant?
That it's sexist, essentially. This whole race is turning into a sexist mess. And I love when she talks about the things that they didn't put in her introduction, like how she's a patriot and all of these other things. It really rang, and especially like now we have a female vice president, but when Hillary was running for president, like it really rang true. It's like you want to remember all the parts that remind you that she's a woman and may be incapable of the job in your mind, but you don't ever want to address the parts that let you know how capable she actually is. And it's really insightful. It's really intelligent. I love the writing on it. She kind of like it was this no bars, pound per pound. Like she was just going, gone, and I loved it. The next one is another feminist icon. A lot of the speeches that I gravitated to, of course, are more feminine and black-based speeches, because that's who I am. So I gravitate to speeches that speak towards me and who I am. And this definitely spoke to me. Millie is one of my favorite characters. It literally goes Olivia, Millie, everyone else can like muddle up, Mama and Papa Pope, and then everyone else, like, sits there, muddled together. And then bottom is Fitz. The below that is, what's that other one? That other one that she was sleeping with that, left her, who was a senator. Oh, forget him. Hate him. Anyways, with that being said, this speech is the I'm not guilty speech that Millie gave in her term as president, when she was accused of being, the person who sabotaged Air Force 2 Bean's plane, basically. They called her a person of interest in the media, and everyone was starting to think that she was the cause of that. And again, it is this woman reminding you that she is a patriot. Like she, I'm gonna put it here.
Allegations have been stoked by my opponents. Opponents who wish to see the nation distracted from the good work that this administration has done and continues to do. Opponents who wish to see me backed into a corner and to forever tarnish my legacy. To them I say, good luck.
Should he kill Cyrus?
I will not be backed into a corner. I will not allow you to spread lies and to call me a terrorist when I am a patriot. I'm not trying to bring down jet planes. I'm shattering glass ceilings and making history. I am keeping our borders safe and giving our daughters hope. I am the commander-in-chief. It is my duty to uphold the law, not to break it. I am not guilty. If you did not hear me the first time, let me say it again. I am not guilty. And I will not be bullied.
She has that line where she's like, I'm not sabotaging planes, I'm too busy breaking glass ceilings. Like, that is a kiss. It's a chef's kiss of a line. Like, she's the first female president, and you think that this is what she wanted to do? These people are trying to tarnish her reputation, and she is not having it. It shows strength and grace, and I love the ferocity in her. It's like when you write that nicely worded email in your work thing, and you just feel like, what? Yes, I just got you, buddy. Like, it's like when you're like, actually, if you refer to the last email, to be clear, I did that. Like, she did that, but she also capped it off with a, if you didn't hear me, this is one of those lines where it's like, I didn't stutter, but if I did, I said it twice. Like, if you didn't hear me, let me say it again. I am not guilty, and I freaking appreciate it. There's this beautiful bit before that she has with Olivia.
We don't need to adopt or justify violence just because it's been business as usual for the men who have led this country since its inception. The sins of our past leaders don't need to be our sins. They may always outnumber us, outmuscle us, outgun us. That is why we need to be smarter, better, more just.
And that speech, it just is powerful, and I love it. Now, speaking of Millie being the first female president, there is this is not a speech. This is a conversation between her and Olivia, and it's not like a speech, but it is so funny. It's okay. So this is different, and like all the other ones are empowering, insightful, or like just like trying to give you a genuine idea. Like, it's just beautifully written, or just really powerful and insightful or moving. This one is just freaking hilarious, and that's why I put it on this list. And it's not really a speech, it's a conversation, but it's a conversation between Olivia and Millie. Millie is no longer the first lady, and she is the first female president of the United States of the Republican Party. And she basically talks about how there is a famine in her lady bits. Roll the clip.
But I'm not. I'm not just POTUS. I am single female POTUS. Do you know what that means? It means I'm a human chastity belt. Men have historically always had trouble getting turned on by powerful women, the idiots. And when that powerful woman is the leader of the free world, Olivia, there is a famine in my lady bits. My vagina is beautiful. She is welcoming, but she's getting treated like a murder house. I can't get anything in there.
So it is so funny to me because she is genuinely stressed about something that like no one thinks about, because no one thinks about the president or senators as sexual creatures. That's gross. It's like thinking about my mom that way. Gross. But it is hilarious and an actual topic of conversation.
You know what I need? I need a vibrator. The president needs a vibrator. Can I get one? No. Can I go into a store and buy one? No, I can't order one online. I don't have a credit card anymore. I'm definitely not going to ask the military valet who attends to my personal items to go and pick one up for me. I can't ask any staffer, really, because, I mean, think of the political tea the Democrats could spill. The headline, staffer forced to purchase sex toys for President Grant. You want to talk about the crown jewel of the American prison system? I can't even smuggle an orgasm into this place.
Like, she is a single female POTUS, okay? And you know, it's so much harder when you're a woman because people are waiting for you to fail. But also, you're horny. So it's hilarious. I think that bit is so funny and so well written. It shows the clear, cool dynamic between Olivia and Millie that has grown from their hatred days, days of hatred in each other, and it makes to show off a beautiful friendship and how awesome it is. This one is another, what I mentioned before, another Papa Pope and Olivia moment. This is the most iconic, I think one of the most iconic speeches from the show. It is the clip that gets played over and over again, especially if you are black. It is the twice as good speech. Olivia is finna get smuggled out of the country by her daddy, okay? She's getting on a plane and disappearing. And basically her dad tells her, you know better than to be mediocre. You spread your legs for a powerful man. Your story's no different than anyone else in this town. Roll the clip.
He told you that you would be first lady, and you believed him. Did I not raise you for better? How many times have I told you you have to be what? You have to be what?
Twice.
What?
Twice as good.
Twice as good as them to get half of what they have. Sleeping with that. For God's sakes, you know to aim higher. At the very least, you could have aimed for Chief of Staff, Secretary of State, First Lady. Do you have to be so mediocre?
It's just a reminder of how when you are black, you have to be twice as good to get half as much. That is a phrase that has been ingrained in my childhood, and it's just so refreshing to see something from your actual childhood on the stage, on the screen, you know? Such a seminal black conversation to have. And the fact that her father is obviously disappointed in her kind of hits home as well, but it really is a powerful moment to me, and a big reminder that you have to be twice as good. And even Olivia, who is 10 times as good, is still susceptible to being shattered into ruin. And with that being said, we're going to go to our last one. Our last one is my favorite. Listen, there's the if you want me, earn me line that I love, obviously.
I am not a toy you can play with when you're bored or lonely or horny. I am not the girl the guy gets at the end of the movie. I am not a fantasy. If you want me, earn me. Until then, we are done.
I when I was in college, and I was like, boys are so crap. Why wouldn't they love me properly? And then I had the little if you want me, earn me joint on the wall, like as a poster line. But the antithesis to that is the what do you need speech.
Picked him, he's your guy, so too bad for you he stays on the ticket. That's final. What else do you need?
It is when President Fitz, his vice president, is efficiently begging his wife, his first lady, and he's upset, and he wants this man off the ticket for begging his wife. Olivia sends in Abby to get the job done. He is not satisfied because he wants to see Olivia, and Olivia is like, I can't see you. We can't be together. Be serious, my G. Like, this is not how it's about to work out. And she has this beautiful speech. It's to the point where I know the speech. Roll the clip, and then I will do the little clip out part that I know after. What else do you need? What service can I render for you today? Am I here to stroke your ego? Am I your cheerleader? Am I here to fight your tears? Am I your nanny? Am I here to fight the bullies? Am I your bodyguard today? Or maybe I'm your dealer. Maybe I'm your dealer. Or maybe I'm here to make you feel hot and manly and ready so you're not jealous of your wife's boyfriend. Is that what it? Am I your fluffer today, Fitz? Is that what you got? What service am I billing you for today?
You're being disgusting.
Oh, I'm disgusting.
And petty.
Right, I'm the petty
And
one.
jealous.
What else am I supposed to be? I lie in bed, and every night and I play our relationship over and over again like a movie. We meet, we fall in love, we can't stop ourselves, we're meant to be. I give up everything inside of me, and then it stops. The movie just stops. I don't know how it ends. It's just me, waiting for a house in Vermont that I can't live with, and a man who keeps promises he can't keep. So, with that being said, I think it's very clear why I love that speech. It's really her moment to be like, we can't do this. We can't keep doing this. Like, it's just, you can't keep making me promises that you can't keep. And he's like, I didn't do this. I'm not something that happened to you. Well, you kind of are, so screw you. With that being said, that is the last one on the list. I'm just going to do 2 bonuses. It's really a part 1, part 2, kind of 1-2 punch of Millie and Fitz. Just because I just like Fitz and I love when Millie drags him. So it is Millie versus Fitz. I think on YouTube it's called Millie versus Fitz 1 and Millie versus Fitz 2. I'll play them right now, back to back, as much as I can.
This is all about you. This is just one more opportunity for you to talk about how great you are. When you're running, you talk about how great you are. When I'm running for office, you talk about how great you are. Is there a scenario where you don't talk about how great you are? You are standing up here thumping your chest, reeling off your stats, chiseling yourself onto Mount Rushmore like you didn't stand on my back to get there. On Olivia's back, on Cyrus's, and your daddy's. I didn't have a $100 million trust fund, a political legacy. I didn't go to the best boarding schools on the planet, and I am not a white man. I am here on my own. I got here on my own. I got here because I managed to escape you. Like Liv managed to escape you. You talk about what a great president you are, and yet you whined and cried about how much you hate the job every chance you got. Do those people out there who love you know how many times you tried to walk off the gig? How privileged and entitled do you have to be to think of the most powerful office in the world as a prison? Unlike you, Fitz, I want this. Unlike you, I earned it. And unlike you, I will not squander it. This stage is mine.
With that being said, I think that Scandal is a cinematic, maybe not cinematic, but I think that writing-wise, it is some of Shonda's best work, even when the plot was not going the way that I would like, and the characters were acting in ways that I think would befuddle any real person. The lines were always there to be delivered. I really loved that. I really love the quotability of it all. I really love how intricate that the speeches were waved into each other. It was beautiful at all times. There's so many other great speeches as well and quotable moments that you can check out online or just watch the whole series like I did. With that being said, thank you for joining me, my internet friends. Don't worry, I will be back, so stay tuned.